You know what I love? Just a good, clean recipe that takes simple ingredients that together create just a wonderfully tasty dish. Nothing fancy ingredient-wise, nothing fancy technique-wise, just everyday ingredients resulting in a wonderful dish. And I think that's what we have today with this creamy spinach artichoke pasta. So let's jump into how to make it. We'll get started with our pasta today. So let's bring some water up to a boil, hit this with some salt because, no bland food around here, and then toss in 227 grams of Banza penne pasta, or whatever your heart tells you to make. It really doesn't matter, although I don't know if I'm falling out of love with long strand pasta, but bite-sized pasta is far superior in my opinion, at least for meal prep. So I tend to stick with that option most of the time. I mean, I love all pasta, let's be clear, but I just have a slight favorite. And once our pasta is done, we'll get a skillet set on medium-high heat to cook some chicken. So I have 3 breasts here, or 850 grams, that I've flattened out just a little bit so they cook evenly. We'll season these with 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, 1 to 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, just depending on how much you like garlic powder, and then 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. Now just let these sear, but then once we flip them here in a second, then that's when I'm going to add the lemon zest and lemon juice over the chicken. It's an optional add, frankly, but I do it after I flip the chicken just because I don't want to sear the lemon zest and burn it. Or what you could always do is just add the zest and the juice after you remove the chicken and you set it off to a separate pan. So just get all of your chicken cooked. I'm going to have to do mine in 2 batches just because I can't fit it all. But once it's all cooked, I'm just going to remove it and set it off to the side onto a cutting board. I'm going to cut my chicken into bite-sized pieces off to the side here once it cools down and it doesn't sear my fingertips. I don't have those professional chef fingertips that can just handle blistering heat. Now the rest of the dish is pretty simple as well. Turn the heat to medium, add in some more oil, and then toss in 225 grams of diced yellow onion. And I'm just leaving mine in like a medium-sized dice. Let these cook for a couple minutes or so and really scrape up that fond. That's why we cook the chicken first. No flavor left behind here. We got to get it all incorporated. And now once our onions are starting to caramelize, we'll toss in 4 cloves of minced garlic here in the center. And we always do it like this in the center because there's a difference between steamed garlic and toasted garlic. If you just toss it in the pan with the onions scattered around, it'll just steam because it won't come in contact with the skillet, so that's why we put it in the center. So start to mix that in, and then the next thing we'll do is just toss in 75 grams of spinach. And I'm doing it now because I want the heat of the pan to start wilting down my spinach. So keep mixing that in until the spinach shrinks, about maybe by half or so. Then once it's where we like it, we'll add in 500 grams of chopped artichokes. I just bought canned artichokes that were in quarters and then diced them into more bite-sized pieces. You can cut them as big or as little as you want, it's up to you. And then the next thing we'll do is add in 70 grams of whipped cream cheese, and then 35 grams of sun-dried tomatoes. And for the tomatoes too, I chopped those up a little bit, getting a little choppy around here, but that's again a personal preference. You can certainly leave them whole. So just mix this together and then toss in 40 grams of chicken stock, and then go ahead and toss in your diced chicken from earlier as well. And with that still relatively hot, we can go ahead and add 50 grams of mozzarella too to start getting that melted down and incorporated well. And to finish this off, we'll toss in the pasta, for which we'll make the, I guess, patented mistake now of using too small of a pan. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with me. Every single time I always think I'm gonna have enough room, and every single time I never do. I guess I just need to use like a heavy bottom pot or something like that to make sure I have ample room. But anyways, excuse the mess I make, just get everything mixed well, and then I'm gonna do the optional step of rolling it for some texture. And again, this is totally optional, but it makes it look cool and really good when it comes out, so that's why I do it. I mean just looking at that, I just want to dig into fork into that ASAP. But before we do need a prep though, so let's get all of this pasta into our containers in roughly equal portions. You can measure it out if you want. I'm gonna hit mine with some extra freshly cracked black pepper over the top. Again, totally optional. Or you can add some freshly chopped parsley as well, that'd be good. Or nothing, because the dish is already tasty and you're not worried about making it look fancy. Either way, it's gonna be good, that's for sure. So check it out for yourself and stay tuned for more recipes in the future.